Morning everyone. So today, just to see how much you can get off new EVs, how much the ZEV mandate pushing manufacturers to sell more and more electric cars. Last year was 24%, I think this year goes up to 28%, and they can get up to £14,000 fines for not meeting that. They can get around that with selling more high MPG or low CO2 per kilometre cars. If they increase their percentage sales that are low emissions rather than higher emissions, then they've got some exceptions. They can buy credits from other companies like Tesla or otherwise to get around that £14,000 fine. But let's see what new or nearly new EV I can pick up from my local Arnold Clark garage. It used to be a Wingrove. Arnold Clark have bought it, and it's a Citroen Peugeot dealer. So I'm going to go test drive the eC4 because it's one that I've covered on the channel in the second-hand series, in the Fleet Solutions series, the Salary Sacrifice series. So let's see what it's like to drive. The interior last week looked really good, but when I went to look around it, I had my driving license back. I couldn't remember my national insurance, so they won't let me test drive it. So I'll have that on my phone now, and hopefully with minimal editing, with a new pause button on the Android 15 operating system, that we can hopefully do a little mini review while we're in the car. So yes, I'm going around there at 11, and hopefully we'll put up an eC4 review, as well as I'll show you what price they're offering me for cash, as well as what that makes the PCP deal, and we'll see what they'll offer me for my 2020 70 plate Hyundai Kona EV. Let's see how much they would give me for that versus what their price comparison sites would, versus what Auto Trade average sale price for my mileage and age would be, and we'll see what we all think of that. It's not in the best conditions, a couple of scratches and stuff, so hopefully they won't bother me down too much. Probably not going to get one, but I just wanted to see what's it like versus the cars. Might test this versus the Kia EV3 is one of the ones I'm interested in. So I just paused while the bin lorry went past there. So the Kia EV3 is a competitor for this, and I think much better, and I'd much prefer that. So I'm going to try and book in with Kia to go see one on one of my days off. And I was driving home behind an ID7, and I really like that car. Really like it. It doesn't seem monstrously big, but it seems like it's got more boot room, and I really like saloons, and I've been watching Battery Life EV, German guy called Chris, really great, knowledgeable guy, and he's moved from an ID3 to an ID7, and he's tested loads of cars and done side-by-side comparisons. So I always like the Ioniq 6, I guess because I've got a Hyundai. I know Hyundai EVs are pretty good. I always like the look of it. The concept looks so much better than the actual looks of the car. But I've always wanted a saloon. But the ID7 seems just as efficient as the Ioniq 6, and will have much more boot space for like going camping and things, and etc. And the headlights look amazing, which is one of my bugbears about the Kona, is the poor headlights. So I'll report back on that. And it's a bit of a miserable day, so maybe we'll see some headlight action. Probably not in the Citroen, and we'll see what we think of those. All right, ciao everyone. See you in the next one. Hi everyone, just outside the dealership. There'll be loads of road noise, so I'm sorry. But let's have a look at the competitors for the C4. We've got the ID3, we've got the MG4, and we've got the Kia e-Niro. All about 15 to 20 grand. So there's loads of cars here for sale at the Citroen garage. These will be people who have traded in. So I'm about to go in. Let's hope that the editing works well on the phone, because I found the new photo editing software built into Android. So hopefully this will go without a hitch. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go say hi. I've got my... what have I got? I've got my national insurance number in my head, so that's great. And I need to go for a pee and a coffee first. Right, everyone, that was a bit of a letdown going to see the Citroen C4. One, the car, I knew this from the stats anyway, has got a 100 kilowatt motor instead of my 150, so it just felt slow and sluggish, even though 130, 140 horsepower is what that is more powerful than any car I've had before this EV. but it felt sluggish compared to this one. What I knew before is that the battery was a 50 kilowatt hour battery rather than my 64. So again, the range meter when fully charged was lower than I'm getting on mine. And so it seemed like a downgrade. It didn't have, even though it was a top spec model, it didn't have adaptive cruise control. It only had cruise control, which again seemed like a downgrade. They add so much quality of life to my long commutes or any long trips that I do. I feel that adaptive cruise control is really important. If you don't have it, try it, and then you'll realize how good it is. And the next thing was the price. They were going to give us loads of money off. So they were the most money off that they've got new is on Auto Trader and things is a brand new version, pre-registered version for 22. They were going to for 22.500. They were going to do it for 22.900. So pretty good pricing wise. And when you look at what that price means for per month, it was going to be a £300 deposit. It was going to be $247 a month for 4 years for 15,000 miles, which is for 4 years, yeah. So which is quite good. There's nothing wrong with that. But the part exchange on my car was not great. So let's talk about that. So this is a 2020 70 plate Hyundai Kona. It's the 64 kilowatt hour battery. And they on Auto Trader you can get different examples between 13 and 12 and high 11s for my sort of mileage, 50 to 60,000 miles for this sort of age as 20 plate. And they have to make a profit, of course, and obviously they make a big deal about all the scratches and things that you have. So they were suggesting that they would give me 8.4, and then if you say, "Ooh, I'm not sure about that," "Ooh, 5," always push back, and then they would push to 9.5. But because they've got a profit, they're never going to meet what the market price you could get from a private buyer is, because they've got a business to run. They've got to make profit. They've got to keep the lights on. They've got to pay his salary. They've got to heat the studio or whatever you want to call it, the showroom. So they've always got these costs that mean they can't sell it what they would sell it for on Auto Trader. They can't buy it from you, of course, and I understand that. But just the palatability of like losing money on your car, it's but blah blah blah, and it was never a realistic replacement for the Hyundai Kona. I was just sort of wanting to test a car and see how it was, so I was kind of mugging them off a bit. So yeah, the boot is a little bigger versus the Kona, but the range is lower, the motor's less powerful, and there's less advanced driving assistance stuff. So I think it's just a no-go from me. It is a dull, drizzly day here in Newcastle, so I thought the lights might come on, but you just can't perceive how good they are when it's not actually pitch black or dark. And quite often in my winter drives, I've got the headlights on. The headlights being bad is such a quality of life issue for me. So I couldn't really tell what they're going to be like on that. So it's a bit of a disappointment. They were getting very hard sell at the end, and I was pushing back with it. No, I probably can't do it. Sorry. Thanks for trying, etc. I understand you need to make a profit, and maybe it's just not quite right for me. But honestly, it would have been a huge downgrade. So it was fine. The suspension's fine. The drivability's fine. But here on the Hyundai Kona, you've got these flappy paddles to reduce regen. No, that one's actually to put it up, and this one on the right over here is to put it down. And that is such a, like, I never use my brake because I'm just pressing this flappy paddle, like what you might change gears on an automatic or one of these double clutch cars. Just having a little indicator down here to go from low to high regen or D to B mode didn't feel that was good. Although the interior was much nicer than this, so in terms of like the seat quality and stuff, it seemed much more comfortable. So mixed bag, but ultimately not for me. And when I thought about the car and I looked at the car, I've got to say I found it 100% non-exciting. But what I do find exciting, and where I am now, which I thought I might try, is at a Kia dealership. Let's see if I can show you. So I'm at Kia Newcastle, and I'm hoping they're going to have an EV3 that I can try, and in fact there is one over here just by that van over there. Great, let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, so there's a nice Kia EV3 over there, so let's see if we can get a long-range Kia EV3 to test, because I'll be really excited. And the other disappointing thing actually about the Citroen was that it was an accompanied test drive, and I wanted to video the car and all this sort of thing, and then I've got Alex Brown with me, the sales rep, who's a lovely guy, great chap, and absolutely fine, but I kind of wanted an accompanied one. I kind of wanted to park it near my house and see how well it plugged in and all that jazz. I think it will be with the passenger. Their charger was over there, so that would work for where I park at home on the back of my terrace street. It would work fine, but I wanted to test it, and then I've got Alex with me instead. It's all a bit awkward. I wanted an unaccompanied test drive, so never mind. It was okay. It was an okay car. If anyone's got one, fair enough, but I couldn't even find the trip meter. I tried to get him to find the trip meter. There was no trip meter on there, so I couldn't even see how efficient it was, what mileage I was getting, how good it might be. So I just felt like the software was bad. And the Kona's nothing like a Tesla in terms of like programmability of the infotainment, but if you are trying to drive further than charge rate you got, it will send you to a charger. It will tell you where a near charger is. It will program that in, and if you miss one, it'll send you to the next one. So that's reasonably good. It's not as good as a Tesla, but it's okay. But the Citroen had none of that, absolutely none of that, and it seemed really disappointing, because the software in here is okay, but it's not amazing, but it was definitely a step down in almost all regards, apart from the boot seemed a bit bigger. So disappointed by the Citroen. If you've got a Citroen C4, it's a great car, it's fine. It's just that comparative wise I didn't feel it was better, and why would I pay more to get less? That was kind of my attitude. But yeah, if you have any questions about the eC4, I'll try and answer them. I was hoping to get some footage of the car. I've certainly taken some pictures, but yeah, no, it's going to be it was going to be a no from me. B, I wasn't really looking at it properly like that, and C, sadly, I didn't manage to get any footage, which is a bit disappointing. Okay, but anyway, ciao everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hi everyone, so this is just a little run through of the different shots that I got while looking at the car. You can see the boot's okay, the front, this is what the styling of the top model is, and this is what the car looks like from outside. This is the pre-facelift look. It's got a nice big infotainment screen, nice wide open space. It's not quite dark, it's not piano black though, which is good. There's the drive mode selector, you've got a B button to press for your regen, and again a view of the pano, well, the sunroof, and a view of the back there. You see it's still got the transmission tunnel because they're sharing with a petrol car sort of architecture, and there are the re-seats there.
And I just added some shots in there just because,
which looks quite nice, really.
While I was in the garage or out on the test drive, so that's your little run through of the interior. It was reasonably roomy. There's enough in the front and back for a short arse at 5'9" like me, but the transmission tunnel makes it look quite old-fashioned and things. So let me know what you think. Do you have the eC4? Is it a lot better than what I'm rating it at? What miles per kilowatt do you get? Can you find a trip meter in the screen? Is it just because me and the guy in there didn't know what we were doing and couldn't quite find it? And all that other thing, what's it like to live as an EV? If you are going a long trip beyond your range, how does just the shut nav do it? Have you got to refer to the Citroen app, which is what they were telling me? So yeah, let me know in the comments below. Okay, see you in the next one.